Hey everyone, Johnny here, and today I'm going to show you how I built this water feature or bird bath for my backyard. It was a really easy project that just creates movement and some ambient sound in the backyard. It was a really fun project to make, and it wasn't really materially intensive. As you can see, we have these two planter boxes. They're both square, one really large tall brown one and a smaller black one. The black one fits just inside of it, just like this, and the fountain's going to stick out of the top of it. Next up, I needed to test the pump. Testing the pump was absolutely crucial. It really needed work because it was the centerpiece of this project and the whole reason I'm building it anyways. So I unpackaged the pump and I connected the solar panel, which was staked into the yard under a lot of sunlight, to the pump in the water bucket. Now this pump has a safety feature where if the water level is too low, it shuts off the pump so that you don't burn out the motor. You can see that working here. As I set it into the bucket on the side, it's not working. So after some fiddling around and figuring it out, once it's fully submerged in the water in the bucket just like this, you can really see a really strong flow from this pump. And I was absolutely amazed at how powerful this pump was on this solar panel. It worked out great for this project, and it has really good flow, and I was really excited to see it. Now here you can see some of the different attachments that come with the water pump, so you can change them up and you can get the look and feel that you want for the space that this is going to be in. Now I wanted all these attachments, but because of the size of the planter, I couldn't use the ones I wanted, so that's why I just have that one stream on there. If I had a bigger planter box, it would have been perfect. Here I am seeing where I want to put the pump, and I'm going to go drill a hole exactly where I need it. So here's the drill, and the drill bit isn't the size that I need it. It's too small, but it's okay. Whenever you need to drill something like this with a small bit, you can just run it along the edges like you can kind of see me doing. The camera got a little in focus, but if you just wiggle it around and go against the sides, you can open up the hole. And first time go, it fit perfectly. So after I drilled the hole and got it in place, I filled the brown planter box up with water, put the pump in there, and ran the hose to the fountain. I connected everything up, so this is a test run, testing it out to make sure everything runs. You can see that I have the two-tier system going on here with both fountains, and you'll see the power of this. Again, this planter box is probably only 12 inches on the sides, so a square foot, and it easily covers that area. And I really wish I had a bigger, bird bath or, planter box to really take advantage of this. So after some fiddling around, because it's flimsy plastic, you can see that I'm having trouble with the location of it. So I try moving the box around. I'm trying to get all the water to stay in the box. This box is going to be in a shaded area. But I'm still gonna have to deal with evaporation, and I don't really want some water splashing out. So after I was comfortable with it working, it's time to silicone it and make it permanent. So I'm siliconing this crack that happened when I was drilling and fitting it in. I'm gonna add a lot of silicone to the side of the pump. Make sure it gets a really nice snug fit. So I added silicone to the fountain, and I'm putting the hose in there to help set it in place while it dries. I thought about siliconing the tube into the fountain, but it didn't work, and I was gonna have to move it around anyway, so I'm glad I didn't. So I'm connecting the tube to the fountain, spreading some of that silicone on there, and connecting it and setting it in place. So everything's connected, it's putting it in, and I'm having trouble with the direction. It wants to lean over. That hole wasn't great. that it's sitting in. The little plastic's pushing it in direction, so I'm adding some more silicone and some rocks to prop it up vertically. This will help keep the water inside of the planter and not let any escape. After adding the rocks to get it going, this is how it is going to be set out to dry. The silicone is going to set for a day to dry. Again, it's 100% silicone, should be safe for any animals in it, any birds taking any water. Now, as I was siliconing that, I really didn't want the power cable to be seen. So off camera, I drilled a hole for the power cable. And here, I'm feeding it through the box. So this is going to allow me to put the solar panel further away from the shade and make sure it gets a lot of sunlight throughout the day. So I'm putting the pump inside of the box, feeding the cable through, and I'm going to silicone it with a lot of silicone to make sure that it's watertight, no water's going to escape. It's a small hole. I'm still worried about losing water in there. So here it is the next day. The silicone's all dry. I'm about to fill it up with a bunch of water to make sure that that silicone holds and it's watertight. And it's looking really good. Ended up not having any leaks, so I felt really good about it. Used a lot of silicone. So after about 30 minutes of letting this water sit there and make sure there's no leaks, I felt really comfortable with it. I connected the tube to the pump. I'm going to get the black paint lantern box put on top. You can see some of the rocks fell. They weren't really siliconed on there too well. I'm connecting the pump to the hose, to the spigot, and setting it in and testing it out. Look at it go. Here you can see me fiddling around with it because I really wanted to save it and be able to use these spigots, but it just wasn't happening. I was losing too much water. But enough cannot be said about this pump, and this solar panel is really above my expectations of when I ordered it. So here we are. I had to get rid of those spigots and just use this, which looks fine and works fine. It sounds good. And overall I'm happy and excited about it. And here's everything after testing it and setting it up. Everything's looking good. I added the rocks. And here's the final project in its resting place in the back corner. Nice tree shade. The power cable is routed behind those rocks. The silicone's towards the fence. You can't see any of that. And it just looks wonderful. You can hear it from the patio. It's beautiful. And if you watch the time lapse, you can see the birds found it, and there's a snake, which is pretty cool. But let's go into the post-mortem here. Overall, I was really pleased with this project. I was a bit worried about the water pump, like I've said. It did have some mixed reviews, but I decided to buy it and give it a try, and I'm so glad that I did. The one thing I would change, however, is buying a pump that comes with a battery. That way it can run overnight, and even when there's shade throughout the day, and you can take it out and charge it, inside when you need to. I did try to connect one of my spare 12-volt battery packs around to it, but it didn't have the right connectors. But that's definitely something I would like to add in the future, is a spare battery pack. Also, like I've said a couple times, I underestimated how well this pump would work, and I really wish I had a bigger planter box, or something like that was 24 inches in diameter instead of like 1 foot square. But it does serve its purpose. It provides water to the birds and creates a nice ambient sound while sitting outside. Something I thought about after the fact is I do need to add some drainage holes at the top so that the water doesn't pour into the fountain on rainy days and it gets overflowed. And there's the doggies. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope it inspires you to go out and make something for yourself. Super easy project. The only thing I had to buy was the water pump. It was like $30, links down below. But it was a really easy 2-day project, and it's just a wonderful addition to have in the backyard. Thanks for watching. See you next time.